Happy birthday to me, everybody. I'm 30 today, finally. And I know that every year I have to talk about these Jungle Book movies. I already talked about the first one, I already talked about the second one, and now I'm finally talking about the reboot 2016 in Jungle Book. But this time I'm gonna review all three of them, even though I basically have this one to talk about. You know, you can't see my face, can you? Because it's a little bit too dark in here. I mean, if I turn on the light right now, you might obviously see what I look like right now. Since I shade a little bit of all the hair off. I mean, I started talking about the Jungle Book since 2019. 1967 animated movie and its sequel, which people are saying it's not the best one they came up with. But trust me, I know about these movies pretty well that they remake the same thing over and over again. This, for example, this is gonna be a short, long half-hour review of me talking about all three of them. I mean, before we got the 2016 reboot of this Jungle Book, which is right here. I mean, there was a 1994 one where Mowgli is already raised by wolves, and for random reason he becomes a grown adult Tarzan, played by Jason Lee Scott. I mean, basically, you already know the story that he'll end up in a man village, right? Well, yes and no. The 1994 film kind of had its slight differences. Let me turn on the light. Much better. You can actually see me now. The reason why I'm talking about all three of them, because if I talk about, like, many different types of Jungle Book, we're gonna be here all day. First of all, the 1994 film is slightly different to the original animated film. The 1994 film does take place in, like, the 1890s, a long time ago. It has, like, reference to, like, Aladdin and chase scene. That's what the movie reminds me of. He still hangs out with the wolves, even Blue the bear, Bagheera. Then meets a pretty young lady named Kitty. That's her name. I mean, I remember the opening in the film that he was a young boy and he survived the explosion after the villagers get out and get attacked by Shere Khan the tiger. You know, explosion. I do remember the movie was really, really, really long. Like those classic early 90s movies that make it almost 2 hours long. It's kind of 100 minutes long. In the movie, he does end up in like a, well, not the man village, but kind of like a ancient type of India's town-ish. Into a main villain that wants to know where the treasure is. And he sees like a lovely room of death, like Ace Ventura says. And not to mention, that the main bad guy wants the treasure all for himself. Anyone else I'm forgetting? Oh yeah, King Louie. He's in that. He does appear not once, but twice into the movie. Even when he sees him fight and caught the snake, all CGI effect. he doesn't hypnotize him, he starts attacking him. And with the sharp blade, like, cut him open. I remember how bloody dark that movie was in 1994. But I guess that's when they did another one called Mowgli Story. They were thinking, oh, that movie's too dark. We have to make the other one kid-friendly. Mowgli Story is different. That one, yeah, not as bad as Disney's counterpart, the cartoon one. But they actually got it right, and Mowgli stays as a kid. You'll find out why I'm just talking about all three of them. So they got different timelines. 1994 toward 1998. That one kind of almost has the same story as the original one. Get raised by wolves. Take on Shere Khan, which I forgot to mention. In 1994 film, turns to be a good guy. That Mowgli's not a animal anymore, but a man, by doing a staring contest. You'll find out why about the 1994 film on how dark it is, of lots of characters dying. I will not spoil too much of it if you look it up. Anyways, Mowgli's Story is kind of basically for kids. Except it doesn't have any animals talking. The 1994 one didn't have animals talking. But 1998, they do talk. In Homeward Bound style, just in their minds. That one's kind of, yeah, alright, I guess. Sure, that's a Baloo, Bagheera, Shere Khan. And I forgot about the elephant, Colonel Hathi, King Louie. Oh wait, King Louie's not in it. It has those random chimpanzees. Like in the basic story, the monkeys didn't have a leader. They were just crazy. I mean, the film, they just capture Mowgli just to know the secret fire, which I forgot to mention, was not in the 1994 film, was Imagine, which also has John Cleese in it, teaching him to be smart. What I'm talking about? Oh yeah, Mowgli's story is slightly different. And you pretty much know the rest. He goes to Man Village. And then takes on Shere Khan by scaring him with a bit of fire. And, scares him off. That's basically it. Oh yeah, and there's like a scene of the mother wolf dies. That scene was kind of depressing. And then cuts to him fitting in with the other animals. So he does not return to the man village, just like the animated one. So, yeah, blah 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 blah. And basic story. Hey, you gotta look these movies up, I guess. I'll try not to spoil too much. If those of you have watched both of these movies before, go ahead and look them up. They'll probably be worth your time. Aim. Oh yeah, almost forgot to mention the songs in them. There is no songs, just like in the animated one. So that's why I'm talking about the 2016 reboot instead. Sorry for the long delay. Let's go ahead and talk about this movie. And hopefully I don't get copyrighted. And for this one. best part is the opening. Also, I like how they used the actual music, like from the original movie. And I like how they choose the right actor to play Mowgli. I've been waiting like nearly 20 years. Well, almost 20 years when they finally did a real live action Jungle Book. I'll try not to show too much. I'll just show you a bit of this Rick and Morty poster instead. This reboot does have songs in it. It does have a classic do 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 bare necessities. I'll try not to sing it because of the copyrighted royalty. The live action reboot looks pretty darn good. And it has some really good CGI animals in it. Everything in the background looks really, really good. Unlike the Lion King in reboot, which I'll get to another time. It has like all these amazing different types of animals. You got like fur ones, the long skin ones, ones that go in waters, ones that can fly, ones that are very small, large, and medium size, and ones that are full of feather. The remake does have like animals talking in them, so yeah. I kind of like the idea of this movie existing. I used to watch this a lot more back then in 2016. And there's this scene where Mowgli uses some sort of device, you know. In the original movie, he's just basically a kid that's trying to survive the jungle. Also, I love this opening of Shere Khan. It makes a great appearance to the scene. You know, in the original movie, he does not appear until like a whole hour into the film. I kind of love the idea of what they're going with this scene. And making Shere Khan very threatening, like a monster gangster or mafia leader. Where in the original one, he's seen calm and just a category interesting and cunning. In this one, Shere Khan looks like a threatening, to me, kind of like a Marvel villain. And kind of like Thanos. Also from the Marvel universe that he's ready to strike anytime. Anyways, he's in this movie, he has to return to the Man Village. Or Shere Khan will apparently kill the boy. I love the scene that we get this cute, sweet, emotional scene of him saying goodbye to his mother wolf.
Go back to the den. A man cub belongs with man. We raised him as one of our own. We'll have the boy either way. Akila.
Also, this, I know it's crazy and all, but it looks like all these animals are huger compared to him on how small Mowgli is. In their trailer, they look huge. Very huge compared to him. And I almost forgot, like the entire background of the jungle looks very gorgeous. Except, the entire setting is like a bit CGI. It can look like it's actually there, look like you're at the jungle, but it looks like a big huge setting they put on. They probably used all the budget to make the entire thing look realistic. Which I'm pretty sure it is realistic. I'm just not quite sure. Or what's real. And there's that scene of the stampede of wallabies. which again is a reference to the Lion King. Anyways, he takes out a Kayla, and I'm pretty sure all these wolves can handle one tiger. And basically, I'm pretty sure a bear and a panther would take on a tiger. Or most likely King Louie, which I'll get to another time. I mean, in this scene, I love how there's like a big, huge, extensive waterfall, and he ends up in the swamp area. And he meets Ka the snake. And moves that big, huge scale. And there's like these cute little animals. Elsie starts chasing after. And there's the oversized serpent herself. And yes, Ka is female in this one. Played by Scarlett Johansson. Yep. She does hypnotize the boy, just like in the animated one. And there's like Mowgli's backstory, even though it makes no sense whatsoever. Or how the snake knows about Mowgli's backstory.
And destruction.
And calls it a red flower, aka fire. And shows him being a young baby, defending him, his father. But he was no match for the tiger. He did slash fire on Shere Khan's face and runs away. And luckily Bagheera shows up and protects him. And that's the whole story.
Let go of your fear now.
And Khan was about to eat him. But luckily, Baloo the bear comes to save him. And he's voiced by the legendary Bill Murray himself. The same actor from the Ghostbusters series.
Okay, here's our little
This is
castle.
pretty
See that
awesome.
golden stuff dripping down there? That's called honey. All you need to do, little one, for payback purposes, is to just shimmy on it.
I mean, all I can see, all I can hear is Bill Murray's voice, voicing that bear. I mean, it's very funny hearing Bill Murray's voice playing Baloo. I mean, what else am I going to say? I really don't got much else to say, but that's just Bill Murray playing a freaking bear. That is awesome. And just like in the story, playing a sloth bear. And giving him honey. And to make this review very shortly as possible, that he will return to the man village. Yep. Always when I'm recording. The only thing that's kind of weird about this movie is Mowgli doing invention devices. Like he uses piles of leaves to defend himself from being stung by bees. And there's that classic bear necessity scene, which I will not play. I mean, if I do get blocked by this, it was still totally worth recording. I do love the beautiful plants and everything, and I like how Bagheera says, "Have you lost your sense?" In winter, bears don't hibernate in the winter. Yeah, I love that line. Anyways, he does help a baby elephant, which I forgot to mention. We're part of the jungle of the leader elephants. Speaking of the elephants, I'm pretty sure they would take on Shere Khan. Just stampede full of elephants? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they would screw up the tiger right there. Anyhow,
Well, you know,
Abu just tells him that he doesn't want him anymore. I mean, that did not happen in the original one. He didn't have to lie to him. But to make sure I don't drag this video longer, like I just did, talk about the other two movies, I'll just get to the point. Gets captured by the monkeys, shipped to King Louie, is voiced by the legendary Christopher Walken. Like, Christopher Walken has not played enough villain roles since the early 90s. And summon him by using an actual cowbell. Because that's Christopher Walken saying that word. I got fever! And all I need for discretion is more cowbell. I never get tired of hearing that. Also, King Louie is humongous. I mean, first time I saw this, he's enormous. He's almost like a behemoth-sized orangutan, or what he calls himself, a Pergarian Cancius. All I can hear is Christopher Walken's voice. When it shows his face, it looks like he's all CGI. Big, hairy orangutan. He is so much bigger than I ever imagined seeing a Gigantopithecus looks like. He also plays that I Want to Be Like You, which I will not play. They're copyrighted royaltiness. But luckily he shows up just to save Mowgli's life. That King Louie wants a secret of fire. But Lou distracts them. And where Bagheera saves him. So unlike the Disney cartoon, it ends up in a funny chase scene. But since this is a live action movie, it's just them defending one human cub. Seeing that we see a bear and a panther going against a bunch of monkeys. And the scene makes no sense. It's that most of these animals, well, monkeys just make noises. And King Louie knows that Akela is dead. I mean, we do get a pretty epic chase scene with King Louie trying to find Mowgli. And I gotta admit, the scene is kind of scary. Oh, speaking of scary. Jump scare. Like every movies we've seen, classic jump scare cliche. Anyways, King Louie chases after him, and because of his size, make the entire temple crumble all over him. But don't worry, during to the end of the movie, he's not dead. He does come out of it, singing that Ruby Doo song. And it's up to Mowgli to grab the fire from the man village on those fire torches by the bridge. He starts carrying it toward the jungle and get ready to fight Shere Khan at last. And there's like one spig of fire hits the ground. And all the animals are afraid of him since he got fire. Also, I enjoyed the scene where Baloo and Bagheera start fighting Shere Khan. All the animals were gonna fight him, but I guess not. That would be too much on the movie's budget. They start fighting Shere Khan along with the wolves, including Bagheera himself. And Shere Khan starts chasing Mowgli in a pretty awesome, epic final fight of all time. And this scene is very intense and it kicks ass. Tricking Shere Khan to chase after him to that dead tree we saw in the opening and make him fall to his doom. Best scene ever. So unlike the Disney animated one, he does not return to the man village. He stays in the jungle where he belongs. And the elephants put out the fire. Or wherever. And that was the Jungle Book 2016. My thoughts? I would say this one is slightly better than the... I would say it's slightly better than the 1994 one and Mowgli's Story 1998. I find this one to be way better than the other one. Look at that, it's done by John Barrio, the same guy that did the Iron Man movies. I'll get to those someday. But for now, since it's my birthday, I'm so glad to talk about this movie, and I'm pretty sure there's gonna be more different types of Jungle Books. There is the very first live-action one, the 1940s, and the other ones that nobody remembers are some of the 90s animated ones. And I'm not referring to the anime one I just talked about last year, but most likely the different types. I'll just go ahead and go back to the main menu. I almost forgot to mention that there's just tiny little animals in the opening book, which I did not show. Oh, and how freaking adorable they are. You just want to touch them and how freaking adorable they are. How cute. So, I enjoyed this one compared to the 1994 film to our 1998 film. It's intense, it got some action, it got comedy, and most likely it made me feel emotional, sad, and most likely heartwarming scene of all time. If you want to watch a classic reboot of The Jungle Book, you'll have a great time watching this one. I love the special effects on the animals. I love the actors that played them pretty well. Speaking of the actors, Ben Kingsley does a pretty good role in this movie. The actor that plays Mowgli does a pretty alright job playing him. I think the best thing about this movie is the front cover right here. The front cover looks amazingly well done. I just love how Mowgli's just sitting on a ancient temple stone right there. Bagheera's looking down at him with pride. I mean, if you really like these good old classic reboots or not, you might actually enjoy watching this movie a lot more than you are right now. Got the Blu-ray of it right here. I think I got like 2 copies of these. I mean, if I do sell like one of them, I'll have enough money to own another different kind of Jungle Book on DVD pretty soon. I'm so glad to talk about this in my age of 30, since I'm like a middle-aged man who still likes watching kids' movies like these ones. I'll still have a wonderful time talking about the other ones in the near future. So, yeah, all I can say is, you'll have a great time watching this movie compared to the other ones I talked about since 2019. Mary, already 2 years I've been talking about these ones, even the video games. And it's based off the cartoon Jungle Book. Makes me wish they could have done more. I heard they're gonna bring back Jungle Book as an animated series. But since I'm like a 30-year-old man, it's gonna take a long time when they do the next one. Anyways, leave a like. Please leave a like, subscribe, comments, and more views. Those of you who have like birthday parties today like I have right now. Those of you who have birthdays every day of your lives. Basically maybe tomorrow. And have a wonderful birthday party out there. Or whoever's watching this. I already dragged this scene on for far too long that I already talked about all 3 Disney Jungle Book movies. 1994, toward 1998, and toward 2016. And someday I'll talk about Mowgli's Legend, the 2018 other live-action movie that Netflix did. But for now, I'll talk about some of the older ones. And it's probably in 2022. Alright. See you then, everyone. I already been dragging the scene on for a little bit too long. I did need to take a break from video gameplay. And I like how it says a visual marvel that cuts a direct path to the heart. Peter travels Rolling Stone. Best movie ever. See you around, everyone. That's all for now. Oh yeah, and the music sounds great too. That you've been hearing for like a couple of minutes. Have a great time, everybody. This is Eli J. Martinez signing out.